Okay, hi everyone. Um, just give it a few more moments and then we'll let a few people in and then we'll get started. All right, let's go ahead and get started then. So welcome to today's webinar. My name is Austin. I'm going to be your host. On today's topic, as you can see, we're going to be going over Parim subscriptions and modules. Really just diving into some key differences on what Parim subscriptions offer. And from my experience and our experience here, what features are deciding factors, what our clients ultimately decide to go with when they do sign up and go ahead with Param. So let me go ahead and just show you exactly that. Oops. All right, so what we're going to be starting with today is the Param subscription and pricing calculator. I'll jump in, as I said, we'll be jumping into that in just a moment. Then I'm going to be going over some different Param modules. So with regards to Param and its pricing, obviously we have our set packages, and then from additional modules can be added on depending on your industry, of course, and we're going to be going into that in a moment, but real quick, it could be if you're an events organizer, caterer, any sort of venue like that of such, then we have obviously an events module, and we have a few others that I'm going to be jumping into. After that, when we're going to be going into what I classify as deciding differences. These are going to be the major differences that you get in feature capabilities between two of our main packages, which is professional and premium. Those are going to be reports, advanced pay rules, and then lastly, geofencing. We're going to then finish off with today's webinar, as we traditionally do, with questions and answers. Speaking of question and answers, my colleague Alo, who is usually joining with most of them, is readily available. So you can certainly ask any questions throughout the webinar today within the chats or the question and answer section, and he will be able to live answer those right away. So if anything pops up, feel free to quickly just write it down, and he'll be happy and able to help you, of course. So starting with that, let's just go right into the pricing calculator and run through the different packages within Param. Let's see. What we have here then is we have our pricing page, which is, of course, readily available. You can certainly either go to param.co or Google it, of course, with Param pricing. But this is the page you're going to be seeing currently on our website. Depending on where you're currently located, you can, of course, change the currency. We currently have it set up for GBP for the time being. And from what we're seeing, we have 4 packages currently. We have a starter, we have professional, premium, enterprise. With regards to starter is really your bare bones sort of package. Obviously, it's very price for more of the price sensitive clients. If you're just a small business that only needs to manage scheduling, this would be the package for you. It gives you exactly what you need just to sort of track your days, track your staff, track your shifts, bare bones. The next one, the next two are really our most popular packages amongst our clients. We have the professional package. This is more intended for, say, small or medium businesses who do want some timesheet tracking, and then maybe some basic pay management. So this is typically where they're going to be going. And then there's also a difference between estimated hours as well that you're going to be having. So with regards to each package, you have a default amount of hours with it, as we can see here for the professional. So with the professional package at 99 pounds, you are getting 2,500 schedulable hours. What that means is you will pay 99 pounds, and I'm going to be going over this in a moment as well. You'll be paying 99 pounds, and then you do not pay any additional costs if you schedule less than 2,500 hours. If you start exceeding that amount, of course, you only be paying 2 cents per hour, very minimum, and I'm going to be showing you that in a moment, as I mentioned before. Then moving into premium, we're also going to have that bump up in schedulable hours, and which is going to be 4,500. But this package is definitely really good for those who have an increased amount of hours, but maybe a medium, larger size business that needs to have more reporting capabilities, more further tracking, and more advanced pay rules, because they more specific, say night hours, day hours, etc. And I'm going to be jumping into that during this call exactly. And then lastly, for the organizations that are really just, if you're going to be exceeding 5,000 scheduled hours a month, you're going to be wanting to look into our enterprise, where we would be able to consult you and discuss a pricing plan based off of your organization's needs. So again, this page is totally available to anyone, so feel free to explore it on your own. I'm just sort of going through it to explain the real differences that I see within our own clients that I experience that I interact with every single day. To dive a little bit deeper into the pricing, as I mentioned before, each plan has a set number of hours that you have an hour allowance, you could say. So for starters, you're going to be having that 1,000 hours, for professional 2,500, 4,500, et cetera, et cetera. If you're in that process and deciding if Parim is right for you, and you're sort of figuring out your hours, you can always come in here and play around to see, is the professional good enough, but maybe I will be exceeding that, oops, not that much. Maybe I will be exceeding that 2,500 hours, maybe by 500. You would only be paying an additional price of 15 pounds, which is honestly a very good deal, especially when other competitors will be charging you based off of users. Parim is only going to be charging you your subscription rate plus any excess hours that you would be having. So these are already going to be additional hours, paid hours for you. So you will be making revenue on addition. You would only be paying a very, very small fraction of that to Parim for having to schedule those. So it is a very good deal over our competitors in general. I certainly recommend, if you are one of our trialists who is joining the webinar today, certainly come and explore this a little bit more. And you can always schedule a demo, and we'll be happy to break it down a little bit more for you. Then again, we have also the premium one, as we're seeing here. If you need to go a little bit higher, if it's a busy season, you can estimate and see how much that would cost you, say during the summertime, if you're an event organizer or a caterer, whatnot. Then you could see what your busy season will cost against, say, your low season in the winter time. Moving down, then we are going to jump in. I want to go over these modules now. So as I mentioned earlier, there's the events module. So this is going to allow you to keep all your jobs and shifts that would be associated with one particular event. I like to describe it as a folder within Parim. It keeps all those shifts nice and neatly together. It would be then utilizing the filters within Parim, so you can filter out your schedule, your pay run, etc., based off of events. If you're an event organizer or anything that has to do with events, catering, concerts, festivals, etc., this is something I certainly recommend. When you want to estimate your price, it's as easy as just ticking that box. You can see that slight increase of the price, and you obviously have unlimited amount of events that you can organize from there. Additionally, we have assets tracking. So if you are needing to have company vans for going out locations, if you have any sort of laptops, walkie-talkies, flashlights, anything that you need to give to your team to get their job done, but you also want to track and keep inventory, asset tracking is certainly a way to go for you. So again, easy as adding that by ticking that box. I will also be going through this insight on where you can be adjusting these on your own if you're already an existing customer. Then we have check calls and checkpoints. I will go ahead and show you exactly where those are right now within the site, and how that gets applied, or excuse me, how those sort of things work. So check calls are going to be basically your emergency service for for typically our security industry. So as you see, we're logged into Parim site, and it's going to be located under the locations. Uh, what check calls does is it checks in with your staff member if it's a security guard working on a construction site by themselves, maybe at night in a less than desirably safe location. This allows the system to check in with them every predetermined amount of time. That person needs to then follow the instructions provided to them, and then if instructions are not if instructions are not followed, after which your super admins, a designated person, would be notified of that alert, and you can call authorities or whatnot. So this is something that we're currently offering within Param, and I certainly think if that's something that you guys need for your security, if you're working in that security industry, then we do see this is one of the things that does bring in clients like yourselves from other systems as well. The other one that we're seeing here is checkpoints. So checkpoints are NFT type tags we would be seeing, and you can then set up routes within within a given location. This ensures that your staff is going around doing reviewing all the locations on site that they're supposed to be checking, and then if they're not checking in, you as an admin would be able to see that. So of course we have iBeacons and we have NFC tags. I'm not going to go too much into it at the moment, but these are two different options with regards to these checkpoints and routes, and we'd be happy to talk about them on a one-on-one call. That basically sums up all the additional modules. Certainly, again, as I've said before, go ahead and explore, see what works for you, see how the pricing is, and again, we'd be happy to have another call with you, or excuse me, a call with you to go into further detail, of course. But let's go ahead and dive deep into the two. I would say we're going to be looking at professional right now, and we're going to be looking at premium. We're going to be looking at those two differences on what really determines whether you want to go with either one. Of course, the key one to focus on right off the bat is going to be the scheduled hours. If you are going to be scheduling upwards of 450,000, or sorry, 4,500, then I think premium is the way to go with you, in addition to the additional features. But let's go ahead and look at those exact features and then have them side by side. So what I have here is on the left-hand side, I have the professional, and then on the right-hand side, I have a site set up as a premium subscription. The first sort of features that I see and are a determining factor among our current clients or potential clients is going to be the reporting differences. The first off is going to be cancellation reasons. So over here, as you see under scheduling, we have calendar, shift list, and patterns. Pretty standard with regards to managing your schedule. On the premium package, we're going to be having calendar, shift list, premium, patterns, and then cancel shifts. So what this means is when an employee is unable to perform a shift, or whether they're sick, they're a no-show, if I was to go ahead and unassign this, as you see here, is now asking for a particular reason for that. And this allows you then to track that within that cancellation reports page. And with regards to, and with the professional package, you're not going to be able to have that. It would just simply be marked as canceled or unassigned. So you can further track if there's any particular issues, if there's any sort of patterns on a certain employee, or even what one of my clients has done is they're utilizing this because their own clients are canceling shifts for them. And so they can mark against, okay, this client really tends to do cancellations at the last minute for us. Let's not put so much effort into scheduling and getting shifts filled for them. So that's one way that is also being utilized. In addition to the reporting, we're going to be seeing that over under the reports tab right here. As you see, we have timesheet summary, time clock, checkpoints, absences, absence summary, position coverage, revenue summary, and action history. The ones that you're going to be seeing the differences is for that. What we have for here is timesheet summary, absences, revenue summary, and then action history. So we are getting quite a substantial amount of additional reports for this. We're going to get those checkpoints, of course. Well, in this case, checkpoints is going to be associated to the checkpoint module. We're going to be then getting those absence summaries. We're then going to be getting those position coverage and then revenue summary, as you see there. Revenue summary is kind of coinciding with regards to the additional payroll features that you would be getting with the premium package, but we're going to be going into that in a moment. But I have seen that these are, again, a deciding factor between going from professional and to premium. And then lastly, one of the reports that you're going to be seeing, oops, not this one. One of those additional reports is the invoicing report, as you see under pay and charge, right there. So unfortunately, not too much information at the moment, but you are not going to be getting that invoicing report with regards to a premium. This is going to be linked to the charge rules. You do get charge rules with a professional package. However, you won't be able to really dive deep and do some comparative reporting with it. Then moving on, since we're talking about those sort of financial based topics, let's go ahead and jump into those payroll differences. So going into the professional account, we'll go ahead and click on payrolls here. And for the premium account, we'll go ahead and click on payrolls there. All right. The best way to show this is just by creating a payroll together. So go ahead and click on create payroll and go ahead and click on create payroll here. All right, so I don't know if you guys can immediately notice, it's a little bit small, but we are on the professional package. We have hours and fixed rate. Hours obviously being they get 15 pounds an hour. Fixed rate is they get 150 pounds for the whole shift. You do that, same thing, same premise with regards to that on the premium package, of course. But on the right-hand side there, you're going to be seeing add conditions. What that means is you can make this the way you want to think of it is either you can make this complicated or I can make it very precise. With the professional package, it's okay. Whatever position they work, let's say first aider, whatever, they get X amount an hour, no matter who works it. Of course, you can set up personalized based payrolls, but they get X amount no matter night or day, Monday through Friday, Saturday or Sunday. With regards to the advanced payrolls on the premium account, we can adjust and modify, change all of those conditions that we're seeing here. We'll just start with a simple 15 amount right there. We want to add a condition. We want to have it where it's a day shift. So we can add the hours of the day here, starting from, let's say, 7 a.m. until 10 p.m. So they will get 15 an hour. We can additionally set up the 10 p.m. till 7 a.m. shift being a night shift at, let's say, 18 an hour. We can also additionally set this up where these are a Monday through Friday shift, and there's an additional pay for a weekend shift. So we could have a day shift Monday through Friday. We can have a day shift from, a day pay Monday through Friday, a day pay for Saturday, Sunday, a night pay for Monday through Friday, a night pay for Saturday and Sunday. In addition, we also have age range. So for, say, for any sort of teens that might be working, any sort of conditions that are applied there, you can have that there. And then we also have, as I stated earlier, the days of the week. We can apply that for Monday through Friday. And then we also have another one, which some of my clients utilize as somewhat of an overtime pay, in the sense that you would be the first 8 or 12 hours, however your shifts work, it will be standard 15 pounds an hour. And then every hour after that would be the 18 or whatever, however you calculate it, maybe time and a half. So this is really what you're the possibilities and the preciseness that you're seeing here is what you're getting when you decide to move up into that premium package with Parim over the still works perfectly fine for a lot of our clients, the professional package. As I stated, I have worked with a lot of clients and professional, their hours, et cetera, that works great. But I've also had a lot of clients too, where they do need that preciseness of the payroll. And that's why I'm bringing it up today. That's a major deciding factor for some people. All right, so, but that pretty much concludes just the payrolls. Everything else, we do have another webinar that we've gone over with regards to payrolls, so feel free to explore that a little bit more. Or feel free to reach out and we can also discuss your unique conditions that you have for payrolls, as we would also like to hear what kind of possibilities Parim could solve for your organization. All right, then let's go ahead and jump into the geofencing, which would be the next key one that I see. This is more industry specific. For say, I've had it for say a lot of healthcare or security, but really it's allows you as admins to make sure that your team is on location at all times. So I do think it is something that I want to bring up for everyone today. So with regards to geofencing, we're going to be seeing what geofencing is. If you're not familiar, is within Parim, if you have the clock in and clock out setting turned on, your staff would be, showing up on location and using the app to clock in. What geofencing does, and what you'll be having is, or excuse me, what geofencing does, it limits the radius around your location of that shift to limit where they would be able to clock in and clock out. If you set that radius to however amount however you want it. Let's see, let's go back to this location. As you can see, this is currently set for 459 meters. You can go ahead and adjust that within your system. And then they need to make sure that they're within that radius in order to clock in. And the whole reason I'm bringing up geofencing is because geofencing is currently only available with the premium account right now. With professional, you still have the ability to have your staff clock in. You can still see where they've clocked in or where they've clocked out. However, it's not going to have any preventative measures to make sure they are actually where they need to be. And the reason I have this page shown up right now is if you're not familiar with it, if you're not currently a client with Parim, then I want to show you exactly where you'll be seeing this. So we do have a shift that I've clocked in for earlier today, and we're seeing that icon there. If they are out of zone, you have the ability to filter that out. And okay, so we don't have it at the moment, but it would be a little bit red icon. When you go ahead and click on that, you can see that in this case, the shift is set for this talent headquarters over here. And then I was actually over here when I clocked in. It is saying, apologies, it is saying out of zone. Unfortunately, Parim only has so much control on GPS coordinates. But overall, in general, for this location, I am within the 500-meter radius that we're seeing here, and I was capable of clocking in. If I was to be, 5-10 meters, kilometers away, trying to clock in, it would not enable that. So this is that setting that you're able to get with when you do choose that premium over professional package. Again, if that is something that is a deciding factor for you, then it's certainly good for you to know. And this is where you would be seeing it within Parim. If I was to go in with my device right now, and clock out. One moment. And if I clocked out right now, we would then see it. As you can see, that is live. It does say it clocked out early, so but I think it'll be okay for now. And we can see that coordinates clocked in, clocked out, all good to go. And you would have that data. In addition, if it matters to you, also have the data that this person has left early. And easy as that. But basically, yeah, that covers geofencing. Be happy to discuss that a little bit more if that's something that is of concern or something that you're looking for in a system. But that also then does conclude most of the topics that I had for today. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to leave the webinar open for a few more minutes so we can answer any remaining questions. But I did mention it a few times throughout the webinar today is that if you do have any questions or would like to have a demo, we will be sending you in that follow-up email